late, feeding DeBusschere. Stan Love is in the ballgame for Baltimore, number 13. Boy, he isn't superstitious. Off it goes to Archie Clark, number 21. Unseld is getting a rest for the first time in the game. Chenier, number 45, who directed Love to go into the lane. Outside it was Hayes, back to Chenier. Monroe with the rebound. There's Love, passing him by. Picking up Dave DeBusschere in the corner. DeBusschere on a move. Beautiful. And a feed from Monroe. Stan Love didn't know where he was.
Dave DeBusschere hurt something. I think it's his hip.
Yes, he's in pain. Dave DeBusschere to the right with 12 points is pulled up short. No basket. We have an injury timeout. As Bill pointed out, DeBusschere had pulled up short. Let's see it again. Danny Whalen right there administering to him.
Now he went up for the shot. It's a tough shot. And let's see how he came. Oh, that's where he hurt it. He came down on that foot and that. And as you can see, he'll pull up here.
New York Knicks lineup, replacing Dave DeBusschere.
That's smart. I've had that kind of, it's like the joint, like it's want to jump out of socket.
Oh, it's got to hurt. He's over there limbering up his right leg on the bench as his teammates have it. Frazier. Now Jerry Lucas, as Phil Jackson has taken DeBusschere's place. He's along the lane, wearing number 18 on the blue jersey. And Hayes on Frazier commits the foul. DeBusschere now walking along the New York Knickerbocker bench. Danny Whalen was walking him along, and now he looks as though he's going to have him sit down once again.
Now they'll probably put a little ice on it, and he may be able to play again today. It's one of those kind of things that hurt just a very short time. Now where he hurt is when he came down, and he jarred the joint. There, right at the hip. There, it's almost like it's jarring it loose.
Frazier made the foul shots. He has 12 points. DeBusschere has 12 also as we come to the end of the first quarter with the New York Knickerbockers leading by 8. The favorite cause of the over 19,000 that jam Madison Square Garden when the Knicks play is defense, Bill.
Right, well, defense really comes to aid in a game like today. Both teams have to be a bit tired. They played a tough game last night, and they're here this afternoon. So that defense is a thing that if you work hard, your timing doesn't have to be that good. The natural things don't have to fall into place. You can just work hard at it, and if you do the fundamental things, you can stay in a ball game. And so both these teams are good defensive teams.
Talk about a beautifully timed, highly arched shot. Lucas did it.
The result of good defense is that you see spectacular shots because you have to make spectacular shots to get them off. I mean, you can't just shoot your normal shots because the guys are playing good defense. Now, the Knicks, I noticed, will put pressure on the ball, and the minute the guy gets rid of it, they get back and help each other out. And the Knicks are running more than the Bullets are, and they don't have to. But what they're doing is trying to get up and get the shot before the Bullet defense can set up. Now, we got Hayes on Frazier. So that means that Reed has somebody little. And so that these are kind of mismatches you want to get. And as I've said many times, that some people think if you get a big guy and a little guy, the thing to do is to get the ball to the big guy inside. That's not necessarily true because a guard like Frazier has just as good a chance of making a shot over a guy like Hayes outside as the big guy does taking the ball inside. Plus, you have eliminated the 3-second or the chance of an offensive foul, the big guy running over the little guy, because the referees usually like to call that.
All right, Bill, that was Phil Jackson's third foul. Archie Clark. 5:40 to go, first half, 44-37. Clark with 6 points. Heminger driving on Clark.
You know, this is interesting, Chris, is that the Bullets are a very, very young team. They're one of the younger teams in the NBA. I think that Archie Clark is the only one 30 or over. And that's not bad. You know, they got Reardon is under 30, I'm pretty sure. Hayes, Unseld. They got Phil Chenier's only 22. Kevin Porter, their first substitute, 21, 22. You go right down the bench, and they're a young ball club.
Robert, the oldest ones would be Tresvant and Flynn Robinson.
Oh, yes. Tresvant, I had to give him, before the game, I had to give him greetings from one of his old classmates, my father.
Yeah. You needle him pretty good. Good he's not a little taller and bigger. Okay, Archie Clark, the Bullets. Unseld rebounding. Bradley tapping it away. Who's back in the Nick lineup. Frazier guarded by Reardon. There's a confrontation. Willis Reed to Bradley. Open. Ooh. Chenier, 45. Up left pass to Clark.
And the Bullets are starting to run again.
Gene Shue off the bench on the far side as we have about 5:10 to go, first half, 45-37.
Now, Archie Clark is, he gets them running because he likes to get the ball up fast. And if they can, the young guys like Chenier and Porter, when they're in there, they have a tendency to forget, you know, and to make sure that you don't make mistakes, you see. And trying to avoid mistakes, they tend to walk the ball up.
There's Dick Barnett, a real veteran, taking Bill Bradley's place. Bradley has 3 personal fouls. So the Nick lineup, 7 Meminger, 19 Reed, 10 Frazier, 32 Lucas, and 12 Barnett. It's 6 Reardon for Baltimore, 45 Chenier, 21 Clark, 11 Hayes, and Unseld, number 41.
Now, you know, Barnett's a substitute. Here's a guy that has a great attitude. Plus the fact he's probably the smartest basketball player when it comes to the knowledge of the game on the Knickerbocker team. In fact, I think he would make a fine coach.
I'm just going to ask you that. Will he ever have a chance, you think?
Oh, yes. Probably.
I hope so.
Because he really knows what he's doing out there.
A little physical there on the part of Elvin Hayes.
You know, he comes off the bench. Here's a guy that started for many, many years. He comes off the bench, never complains. You know, it's one of those attitudes that you have to be a substitute. It's what I always call a professional attitude.
At the line, number 12, Dick Barnett. He went to Tennessee State. He did not play last night.
You want to hear something interesting about Dick Barnett?
Uh-huh.
When he started in the pros, he had not graduated from college. He has 4 units to go to get a PhD. Now, when he started the league, he didn't graduate. He hadn't graduated from college in his class. I think when he left Tennessee, he was about a sophomore or junior in his grades. You know, in his class standings with the academic requirements. And now he's 4 units away from his PhD.
Hope some of the youngsters hearing that, Bill, will take note. Because that takes dedication.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of guys don't graduate. And here's a guy that didn't graduate with his class and has since went on to educate himself.
Jerry Lucas making the last field goal with 6 points. Elvin Hayes has it for Baltimore over Reed. And tough defense. In fact, too much. Reed shoves Hayes, and he'll go to the foul line. There's Willis Reed, who played last night for the first time in 7 games, was the starter here today, and you see the harness on his left knee. His problem now is not the knee, it's the ointment that he used on the knee, which apparently got on the instep of the same leg on the foot, and that's burned him a little bit too much. Did you ever have that happen, Bill?
Yes, he was trying to do a little home remedy there. I told him today that's rookie stuff that you go around and hurt yourself at home. I said, you're supposed to know better than that.
All right, here's number 10, Walt Frazier, guarded by Reardon. Elvin Hayes has 10 points now for Baltimore as we're coming up to the 4-minute mark of the first half, 47-41 New York. Barnett, Chenier guarding him. Lucas guarded by Unseld. Frazier. What a beautiful shooting motion with that hand. And the form is almost perfect, isn't it, Bill? Frazier?
Always on balance. Quick hands. You know, he's bigger than most guards, too, because he's a tall 6'4", or maybe a short 6'5".
Walt Frazier, who likes pretty cars, pretty girls, and winning basketball. Frazier's first personal. So it'll be Chenier going to the foul line. Chenier last night with 18 points, helping in the Baltimore 97-75 victory. First free throw, good, with 3:41 to go in the first half. 49-42, 49-43. The end of the first quarter, the Knicks led 32-24. Clark.
Now,
guarding
Archie
Gene
Clark is
Meminger.
putting pressure on Meminger. Now, Meminger is not a very good outside shooter. And so you would normally ask, well, why would he put pressure on Meminger way outside? Well, because Meminger is running the offense. He's setting everybody up. And you got to make that pass a tough pass so that he can't give the guys the ball wherever they want it when they play without the ball. Yes, that was a good call because he did jump in. See, the defensive man, there's really no position to do anything because he's up in the air. Now, if Barnett had gone straight up, he might have gotten the foul, but he jumped in just to make sure.
Earl Monroe getting ready to come in for the New York Knicks. Frazier trying to steal it. He does. Barnett way ahead, but covered by Reardon. So it goes to Reed in the lane. Reed up and in.
If you notice Walt Frazier's, when he bring the ball up, Meminger was down and had the lead on the break, but he wasn't looking at the ball. See, he was just running without looking. And you should always know where the ball is. And Meminger was running with his head down, and Frazier was yelling to him because he had a chance for a layup.
The only time to keep your head down is in golf, right, Bill?
That's the way I play it. That was some move there.
Walt Frazier. He has 18 points already today for the New York Knicks, 53-45. Let's see Frazier's last move.
Now he beats Chenier. He has him here, gets him past, gets him out. Now he's got to go by, and he goes between the Chenier and Hayes, which was a pretty good move.
Mr. Cosell talking about the problems of amateur athletics.
You think he was ever an amateur athlete?
Beg your pardon?
You think Howard was ever an amateur athlete?
Number 40, John Gianelli.
Gianelli. John Gianelli from the University of Pacific, rookie, is in the New York lineup. Number 40. Elvin Hayes is guarding him, and he's giving him a little early treatment, sort of shoving him.
Yeah, see, that's let him know that, hey, I'm out here.
Yeah, good afternoon. Monroe's shot is rebounded by Unseld. Unseld to Mike Reardon. Reardon gives to Chenier, passing by and shooting. Minute 58 remaining in the first half. Chenier now with 10 points. He's guarding Meminger.
So far, the difference in this game has been the fact that Baltimore has not ran fast break. Other than that, they're playing pretty good ball, but they're playing, you might say, out of the element. Because the Knicks are not outplaying them that much. The Bullets are not running.
There's one of our heroes scoring, Bill. Dick Barnett.
Well, see, I like Dick Barnett because it's nice to see somebody my age still out there doing it.
He told me you were older.
No, he may be 6 months or a year older than me.
Oh, okay. Mike Reardon for the Baltimore Bullets. 12 points for Mike. Meminger of New York. Coming up to the 1 minute mark, Lucas from 30 feet. Bill Chenier. Beautiful. A Bill Russell type left-handed hook shot.
I've never seen anything like that.
12 points. 5 for 7 from the field. Goaltending, says Red Holtzman. Jerry Lucas puts it in.
That's not all he said either.
35 seconds remaining. First half, 57-51. New York leading. They're in blue. Baltimore with the predominantly white uniform. Reardon 6. Round Hayes 11. Here comes Clark. Clark killing a little clock time. With 6 seconds of the 24-second clock. He makes it now. 13 seconds left in the first half.
He ran Dean Meminger into Wesley Unseld 3 times on that one play, and that's smart.
Chenier guarding Monroe. Final shot coming up. Whoops. Jerry Lucas commits a foul. And Red Holtzman is off the deck again. I should say off the chair.
Yes, he's off. As he should have been.
So the ball will go to the opposite end, and Unseld will shoot slightly to the left of center at the foul line. In 5 meetings this year, New York has topped 100 points once. Baltimore not at all. Baltimore has won 2 of the 5 games played. But both teams a little more than enough to go over the 100 mark as we approach halftime. 1 second left on the clock. 57-54, and Unseld makes it 57-55. Long to Miminger. Stolen by Chenier, and time has gone in the first half. That's the end of the first half. We'll return with halftime activities here at Cole Fieldhouse in College Park, Maryland, right after this message and a word from our local stations.
Dave DeBusschere's not going to play the second half. They're going to X-ray his hip when they get back to New York. But I think out of good judgment and common sense, they're not taking any chances because they got to try to get him ready for the playoffs because they pretty much established the fact they are in the playoffs. And it's better to take the time and make sure he's healthy when they start really playing down to the crunch.
For New York, it's Bradley, 24. 21 today is Earl Monroe, 10 is Frazier, 19 is Willis Reed, 32 Jerry Lucas, while for Baltimore, 41 is Wes Unseld, 45 is Chenier, 6 is Mike Reardon, 21 is Clark, and 11 is Elvin Hayes. Dave DeBusschere did not even come out of the Knickerbocker dressing room. He's probably dressed and perhaps flying back ahead of the team. 11-12 remaining in the third quarter. New York leading 57-55. No scoring yet here in the second half. Monroe into Willis Reed. Beautiful.
What happened, the 2 guys cut off of him, and he faked to both of them, and the defensive men all reacted. So they left him by himself because the big guy has to back off to help out when those guys are crisscrossing off the center.
Willis Reed with 8 points today, guarding Hayes at the moment, knocking the ball away and also holding.
Part of it, almost like to be part of Elvin's arm, too.
Third personal on Willis Reed. The Knickerbockers, Jackson with 3, Bradley with 3, while Baltimore not in foul trouble. Just received word that Dave DeBusschere will fly back to the team for X-rays of a hip. This year against New York in the 5 previous games, Unseld and Hayes. Unseld has scored 14 points a game, Hayes 16. Unseld has had 15 rebounds, Hayes 13. That's quite a duo that Bill talked at length about prior to the start of the game. They're in the lineup, but can't stop Monroe's shot of New York. 8 points for Earl as it's 61-56. Monroe guarding Archie Clark. Long pass into Hayes. Oh, what a spinning jump shot. 11 points now for Elvin Hayes. Monroe and Frazier outside. This is Lucas. Oh, and nearly tore the nets off. Ten points for the magician, Jerry Lucas. Unseld comes off with the ball. Willis Reed quickly to Monroe. Unseld. Baltimore running. Clark. Reardon.
When the Bullets run, they're in pretty good shape. They get the good shots and their timing is good. But when they, as I've said so many times before, what you try to do against the Bullets is cut off that outlet pass and make sure they bring the ball up slowly. Then you can play with it. But they have to run, though. They are tough.
Unseld with another rebound. Clark has it for the Bullets. Clark slowing down play for the moment, guarded by Monroe. 63-60 New York, third quarter. About 9 minutes to go. Unseld, cross-court pass to Reardon, but it was hard. He is 6 for 8 from the field. He has a total of 16 points, or rather he's 8 of 10. Bradley. That was the first field goal by Bill Bradley today, as the Baltimore Bullets have called for a timeout. We have 8 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the third quarter. New York leading 65-62 in Maryland. On ABC today, it'll be American Sportsman following this telecast, and then Howard Cosell's Sports Magazine show. And times are different on the West Coast, so you viewers, check your time and station. Archie Clark of the Baltimore Bullets. 25 minutes ago, Baltimore led 16-13. Now they trail by 1. Reardon has the ball, guarded by Lucas. Into Clark. Clark around Monroe. Double team. Saved by Hayes, number 11. Lucas on the rebound. To Frazier, to Reed, to Monroe. Well, a big man was in the middle.
That was some great passing. And Walt Frazier said the whole thing up the behind the back pass to Reed, and right away he passed to Monroe underneath. And he got fouled by Archie Clark. So it's a three-point play.
Earl Monroe now with 11 points for the Knicks, 70-66, coming up to the 6-minute mark, third quarter. Phil Chenier, number 45. Lucas with another rebound. Jury filling in beautifully for the injured Dave DeBusschere. To what extent we don't know, as x-rays will be taken when he gets back to New York. Chenier stealing it. 70-68. Chenier. A press now put on by Baltimore. Frazier has it. He and Monroe will break it. Earl the Pearl. 72-68. Monroe now coming on strong. 7 points in this quarter. He has a total of 13.
You know, Earl has made a tremendous adjustment in moving away from Baltimore. He has to completely alter his style, and it takes a great amount of confidence to make the change the way he did it, from a high scorer to a guy that doesn't score very much but plays an altogether different ball game. You have to have a tremendous amount of confidence in your ability to be able to make that adjustment, because you know, if he had believed that the only thing he could do was score, then he wouldn't have been able to make the adjustments. And he has made a tremendous adjustment in that he doesn't shoot nearly as much. He has to play team ball. He doesn't do as much one-on-one. He still has the ability, but the team he plays for calls for a different type of game, and he's made that. So some people had worried about would he be able to play on a team-oriented situation like the Knickerbockers.
In other words, you'd tab him with the same word as you did Barnett earlier, that he's a professional.
Right.
Reardon. Lucas comes off with the ball to Monroe, whom Bill was talking about, number 21 today. 7th rebound by Lucas. Reed around Unseld. Hayes blocks it. Elvin Hayes. What an athlete. One of the superstars in last Sunday's show here on ABC.
There was no superstars on that show.
How many?
None.
Goaltending on Willis Reed. So Unseld gets credit for the field goal, and he has a total of 10 points now as Lucas from way out. In a battle under the basket between Unseld and Reed. We told you a while ago that Reed did the goaltending, got the goaltending call. Right now it's a foul on Unseld, and it's going to be inbounded by Frazier to Earl the Pearl. He's looking for jersey number 15. Who'd want to steal a basketball jersey? Willis Reed now with 10 points. Coming up to 3.5-minute mark, third quarter, 74-70. You just joined us, 32-24 at the end of the first quarter, 57-55 at halftime. New York leading. Unseld stealing it away. Lucas again. Getting great position around the bucket to pull him down. 8th rebound for Lucas. most of them coming here in the second half. Hayes. Clark, 21. Lucas again to Walt Frazier. Willis Reed up ahead. Frazier slowing it down because he wanted to call timeout. First getting into his attacking zone. Then he could inbound the ball there. When play is resumed with 2:53 to go. Third quarter, 74-7. Bill and I'll be back in a minute. 2 minutes, 53 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 74-70. The Knicks leading, and this is the sixth and final regular season game between the Knicks and the Baltimore Bullets. And they have been rivals the last several years. New York with 20 losses and Baltimore with only 24. In fact, speaking of losses, as we look at the Knickerbockers, New York has lost only 4 games at Madison Square Garden, one being the loss to Baltimore last night. What a fantastic record at home. 51-20 overall, Baltimore 43-24. Unseld and Willis Reed. Their statistics up to this point. We mentioned Lucas on rebounds. He has a total of 8. He has 7 in this quarter. Now guarded by Elvin Hayes as Bill Bradley's shot rebounded by Unseld. Unseld to Clark. Chenier, Reardon, and Hayes make up the Baltimore lineup. It's Lucas, Reed, Bradley, Monroe, and Frazier for New York. Reed to Frazier. Unseld long to Clark. Wes Unseld. Within 2 now as Unseld has 12 points. Monroe to Bradley. Reed.
You make it look easy.
Earl Monroe. 15 points for Earl. So in the backcourt, you've got Monroe, 15, 9 in this quarter, and Frazier, number 10, has, let's see, a total of 22 points. Frazier, number 10. Monroe. Reed. Blocked by Unseld. Good defense. Quick release to Clark. Chenier. Clark. 76-74. New York. Seconds left in the third quarter. Baltimore can tie it up if they can move up court and get a field goal. The last tie was 16-16. Traveling. And Gene Shue is off the bench. Kevin Porter is going to come into the Baltimore lineup. Archie Clark getting a rest.
Now, what Kevin Porter will do, or can do, is penetrate. The Bullets haven't been penetrating or running, and maybe they can do one or the other, because if they do that, they can pull away.
A long pass to Porter.
Good defensive play by Walt Frazier.
Lucas to Bradley, and the buzzer ending the third quarter here at Cole Fieldhouse in College Park, Maryland. So, with the big fourth quarter coming up, we'll take a pause for about a minute with the score: New York 76, Baltimore 74. Pal.
Yeah, you want to get the picture taken.
That's right. Here we go, fourth quarter, 76-74, New York leading. Hayes and Lucas giving it their all, but Baltimore controls it. Tiny Kevin Porter, a rookie, to Chenier, 45. Records of these two teams against each other. 3 for New York, 2 for Baltimore. And oh, did Porter do a nice little move. 8th tie of the game, 76 all. Bradley.
Kevin Porter went underneath, penetrated the bucket like I expected he would do.
Phil Jackson in the lineup, number 18, along with number 10, Frazier, 24, Bradley. Frazier gets it. Lucas, 32. Meminger, number 7. For Baltimore, at the start of the 4th quarter, it's 10 Porter, 45 Chenier, 6 Reardon, 11 Hayes, and 41 Unseld.
That's a great pass. Frazier went for the steal, and then Chenier penetrated, and they had to be picked up and made a great pass.
14 points and 14 rebounds. A steal by Little Porter. Look at that tiny little guy. And it's going to be Baltimore's ball. Jeff Porter on the far side. He's nearly as short as referee Don Murphy.
20 seconds into
Right now, Chenier must have caught an elbow in the midsection. May have. There he is. Here are the 3rd quarter statistics.
number 13.
New York shooting is off a little bit in the field, up a little bit at the free throw line.
Right. They're having a rough time at the foul line. 55% is not good.
25 in total rebounds for each team. Stan Love has come into the Baltimore lineup wearing number 13. Number 6 is worn by Reardon and at one time by Bill Russell. Never 13 by Bill Russell. Right, William?
Right.
Jackson faking Love. Hayes. To Kev Porter, 6 feet tall. Only by comparison is he tiny. Oh, what a pass. Chenier. So the little guys put Baltimore ahead, 80 to 78.
Yes, see, they're penetrating and then get it and making the New York defense commit. But they would, I still think they'd be a lot better if they were running rather than just.
Archie Clark, number 21, returns to the Bullet lineup for Phil Chenier.
So with 9:52 to go in the game, Baltimore leads 80 to 78 as Bradley tried to tie it up. It comes off. Jackson knocking it away. Picks it up. Still has trouble. Bradley has it. Lucas battling. Meminger. Hayes gets it. Hayes to Porter. Four fouls on Phil Jackson of the New York Knickerbockers, number 18, as we look at Meminger, number 7. Actually, the foul was on Dean Meminger, number 7, his first. He is guarding Porter, number 10, 21 Clark. Oh.
That penetration.
16 points for Archie Clark. What a young man from the University of Minnesota. Proud of his Gopher basketball team. And Monroe. Here's Clark directing traffic.
And Lucas has hurt himself a little bit.
Yeah. Stan Love has it. Back out to Porter. And Porter charges.
That was a great defensive play by Dean Meminger. Plus, after he got to make sure he got the foul call, he gave a little acting job. But he had great defensive position.
Porter has 4 personals now. Let's see a slow motion of Jerry Lucas hitting the deck to the left. 32 is Lucas. There he goes. appears to be okay already. The Knickerbockers are in the first half. Lost Dave DeBusschere. Injury to a hip. They'll x-ray it when they get back to New York to see just to what extent they've injured it. We hope not seriously. Meminger, number 7 for the Knicks. Phil Jackson in the lineup along with Jerry Lucas and Walt Frazier, plus Meminger. Reed is getting ready to come back in. Monroe. Unseld quickly to Clark. Clark saving it. Giving it to Porter. Porter to Reardon. Back out to Clark. Coming up 7 seconds on the 24-second clock. Unseld back outside to Clark. Now it's restarted, so they have 20 seconds in which to shoot. Coming up to the 8-minute mark of the game.
And the Knickerbockers are using 3-guard offense. They're using Meminger, Monroe, and Frazier, which it makes for a small team. And Lucas and Phil Jackson. That's a small team the Knickerbockers have out there now. Very small team.
Jerry Lucas now leaves the lineup, and he injured himself a while ago. Was complaining of a little pain on the bench now. Reed is back in, number 19, as we look at Meminger, 7. Frazier, 10. Guarded by Reardon. Stan Love rebounds. Love from the University of Oregon. Second year as a professional. Chenier getting ready to come in for Baltimore. Clark. And the Bullets have extended their lead to 4. 18 points for Clark. Meminger to Earl Monroe. Jackson now has 6 points. In comes Hayes. Love leaves the lineup, and Chenier's in. Love fouled Jackson on the play. It was Love's second foul. Now the Baltimore lineup. Unseld, Clark, Hayes, Chenier, and Reardon. They're starters. For the Knicks, it's Reed, Monroe, Meminger, Jackson, and Frazier. Still the 3-guard team for New York. Knocked away by Meminger, taken by Jackson, back to Meminger. Losing it to Clark. Chenier way ahead, but it goes to Hayes. And the Big E.
That's that old high percentage shot.
15 points for Elvin Hayes. 6 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the game. Jackson for New York. Baltimore leading by 3. Reardon to Clark. Fourth foul on Archie Clark.
And another great defensive play by Dean Meminger. Although he was still moving when the contact was made. Really had the right idea anyway.
Baltimore Bullets call for a timeout with 6.5 minutes left in the game, and the Knicks down by 3. Right now, Don Murphy, one of the NBA officials, is getting some smelling salts. It's very warm in here. In fact, Bill, I won't need a sauna tonight or a steam bath. Capacity crowd of over 13,000. And the two officials, well, you can just see, they worked hard. And he looks pale. That's from all the pressure.
Oh, sure, right.
That from a former coach, Bill Russell. It is hotter than in here.
Hotter than a what? That's what I thought you said.
A little imagination, right? All right, 86-83, Baltimore leading, coming up 6:10 to go in the game. These are great rivals, Baltimore and New York. And this can be a preview of the first round of the playoffs in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. ABC will be doing 6 first-round playoff games. Excuse me. How many, Jeff Mason? 16 total. 16 total playoff games, many of them prime time. I mentioned Jeff Mason. He's our producer.
Who?
Larry Cam is our director. 17 points now for Reardon. 8 of 11 from the field. And the Bullets now lead by 5 with 6 minutes to go. Here's Frazier of New York. Baltimore with its biggest lead on the Knicks and knocked away by Hayes.
An offensive foul on number 21, Earl Monroe. His third personal.
A foul on Earl Monroe, his third.
Bullet ball.
So let's see. Lucas getting ready to come back in. Meminger as well. Big game for both teams because of the loss column and the new setup in playoffs, where the record determines what teams will play in the first round, in the loss column in particular. Reardon's hook shot, rebounded by Walt Frazier. Ooh. Little bump and go. Lucas in 32, Meminger 7.
Archie Clark.
5 fouls on Archie Clark with 5 minutes, 10 seconds to go.
Now, see, when they play, Frazier pushed more than Monroe did on the other play, and they call it just the opposite.
Return to the next lineup for
And the one thing that the players
and Earl Monroe.
always say about refereeing is that they don't really care too much how the guy calls them as long as he's consistent. Then you can adjust to it. But if they're going to be inconsistent, then that causes confusion, and this is when guys complain about the referee. And this has not been a overly well refereed game. It's like it hasn't been very good.
24 points today for Frazier, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Now Chenier guarded by Frazier. Reardon guarded by Dick Barnett, number 12. Unseld is guarded by Jerry Lucas, who switches off. Unseld goes for the bucket over Reed. 90-85. Baltimore trying to gain 2 in the loss column, which relates to playoffs coming up in a matter of 2 games, having won last night in New York. Unseld today, 16 points, 16 rebounds. Dick Barnett. 4 points for Barnett.
These two teams will both need tomorrow off. This is a tough game. And if the game last night was anywhere near as tough as this, these guys are going to need some rest, because this has been a tough game all the way, all day.
Well, these two teams have met for the 5th, if they meet again in the first round, will have met for the 5th straight season. And the Knicks have won 3 of the past 4. Baltimore's only victory coming in the Eastern Conference Finals of 1971. So not much love lost between these two when it comes to basketball competition.
Yeah, I think the rivalry really started in '69 when the Bullets finished first, and the Knicks beat them 4 straight in the playoffs. And they've been smarting on that about that ever since, you know. So I think they'd rather beat the Knicks than anybody.
Baltimore, Chenier. Beautiful. Foul call on Jerry Lucas.
The foul is on number 32, Jerry Lucas. His third personal.
How to penetrate by a hardship case. He goes right in, and what I noticed about Chenier is that he always keeps his eye on the target, no matter what happens. He never took his eye off the bucket. Lucas came and he bumped him, and he hit him, and he kept his eye right on the target.
Always keeps that body too seemingly on a drive like that between the ball and the defender.
And that's tough sometimes when you got the big guys with long arms, especially.
Lucas to Walt Frazier. Reed fakes up and no good. Foul call on Elvin Hayes, number 11. Phil Mahalik, he and Don Murphy officiating. That's the 4th foul on Hayes. Clark has 5, Hayes has 4. New York,
Willis Reed, shooting 2.
Jackson with 4. So Now here's Reed for New York. 11 points for Reed and 9 rebounds. Now New York trails by 4. 3:28 to go in the ball game. New York still has to play Boston twice, including next Sunday's game, which we'll televise, as Clark makes it 95-89. 20 points for Clark. American sportsman and Howard Cosell follow our telecasts here on ABC.
Offensive foul, number 10, Walt Frazier.
Walt Frazier, his second personal. Bill Jackson comes into the Knicks lineup, and Lucas leaves.
Bill Jackson, number 18, returns to the Knicks lineup for Jerry Lucas.
That's where he got him. That was a good call.
Take time out.
And Reardon did what you're supposed to do after you get bumped to make sure that they don't miss it.
New York Knickerbockers call for a timeout. We'll pause for this message. Right, Phil Mihelic, the 2 NBA officials, getting a little smelling salts here, coming out for the final 2 minutes and 53 seconds of the game. It is hot in here. (95-89), the Boulevard Bullets in the lead. The end of our telecast from College Park, Maryland. We'll be bringing you American Sportsman. A chance to watch David Ladd, Maury Wills, and Kurt Gowdy. And then Howard Cosell is on the Sports Magazine. On the West Coast, he will follow our basketball telecast. We'll be discussing possible solutions to the problems of amateur athletics. Next Saturday, Wide World of Sports, along with the Professional Bowlers Tour, which will originate at Madison Square Garden, the BPAA United States Open. Clark will go to the foul line now. Second personal on Dean Memminger, number 7. Time running out. Knicks trailing by 6. 2:39 to go. .22 points now for Archie Clark with 8 assists. Dean Memminger guarded by Clark. Dick Barnett of the Knicks. .224 to go. Jackson. Frazier. 5 seconds. Shooting clock. Wow.
Walt Frazier.
97-91. Frazier with 24 points. Pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. That's Memminger guarding Archie Clark. You just joined us. Baltimore took the lead here in the fourth quarter, 80-78 on Phil Chenier's 18-foot jumper.
If the Bill Jackson.
And here's the shot that put Baltimore ahead. Coming up.
Nice little foul there. Looks like a halfback coming to the line.
I blew that one. I thought it was going to be a replay of Chenier's shot. Foul, Archie Clark at the line.
Now, the Knickerbockers are just about out of it, but if they're going to get back into it, they're going to have to stop the Bulls from scoring. The Bulls, they can't let the Bulls score anymore, and they got to come down and get a good shot every time. But they can't even let the Bulls can't give another free throw even.
And the Bullets come one game closer to battling for the home court advantage. And the reason we say that so much, last night they won the first time at Madison Square Garden in 6 games. So the Knicks would love to have the home court advantage in playoffs if it's Baltimore.
Great pass by Earl Monroe. He went up to shoot, saw the band free for a better shot in there.
Reed now has 14 points. That's Chenier along with Clark. Chenier's pass to Reardon all alone. The Bullets go over 100 for the first time in 6 games against the Knicks this year. 101-93. Chenier and Hayes battling for the ball.
And that about did it for the Knicks.
Yeah. And the Bullet fans here on the campus of the University of Maryland starting to cheer the home team. Here's Chenier trying to kill some time. Reardon comes off with the rebound. On the clock, 47 seconds. On the shooting clock, 17 seconds. 101-93. The old stall. 103-93. A 10-point lead by the Bullets, who defeated the Knicks last night by 22. 103-95 with 25 seconds left in this game. Chenier, number 45, under to Reardon. And Reardon makes the basket and is fouled by Frazier. 22 points for Mike Reardon, a former Knickerbocker. A well-balanced attack by the Baltimore Bullets today. It appears that we'll be talking with Mike Reardon and Phil Chenier, Bill Russell, before we leave the air.
Yeah, they both had very, very good games today. They've been the guys that hurt the Knicks the most today, I think. Although Archie Clark has 8 assists, he's done a pretty good job. I think that Phil and Mike have had just outstanding games.
Okay. Jackson for New York. 10 seconds to go in the game. 106-97. Phil Chenier from California. Hard kick. In less than 24 hours, Baltimore has defeated New York twice.
El otro día dije que siempre ha habido tensión entre vosotros y yo. Esta mañana me levanté a las 3 de la madrugada porque no podía dormir, por lo que presencié la pasada noche. Es algo que me ha desconsolado.